It's got a rough road map, and I sometimes get lost, you know, in about 6 minutes of it, and I've actually got seriously. I think last night was
sat nav.
Yeah, last night I found my way, but there are a few, you know, it's a bit like a beginning. It's like a story, really, you know. You don't want to spend it all too quickly. You want to just be interesting and inventive, you know.
The audiences we've had have just been unbelievable in their warmth. They're sort of glad to see us. That sort of, and also at the end, of course, they're sad. You know, we've had sort of standing ovations most nights, and it's just it is emotional, you know. And I think that the Palladium, obviously, which is the actual last one, will be more so. But you know, I'm sure we'll go out there and do. It's a show. It's our show. But we've had a fantastic time, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think the significant thing is that we together started off, not just us, but there was Marty Wilde and Billy Fury and a couple of other guys. We kind of kicked off rock and roll in Europe, and maybe in the rest of the world outside America, because we learned our trade from the Americans, obviously. So for me, it's like a huge, very long chapter that's coming to an end. We're all alive, which is we're grateful for, but we'll probably never sing together again. So Cliff&Shads and the Shadows, this will not only be their last tour, but my last chance ever to sing with the band that helped me to the bottom. To the bottom, yeah. They made a lot of very melodic sounds. If you think about Wonderful Land and Kon-Tiki, Foot Tapper, they were all, we were very much into the melodic side of rock and roll. But when Apache came out, it was so fresh and clean and in tune and melodic. And in fact, they were really cheated out of a success in the States. They could have been very big in the States, whereas I never made it in the States. But that record happened to be covered by somebody else. And he used some tricky-dicky stuff on it, didn't he? And he had the hit with it. But to me, Apache is going to be a standout track forever. When you hear that introduction go, you think immediately of these guys standing, 4 guys standing there, getting ready to do their dance step. Thanks for greatly on board. Thank you. Absolutely wonderful. Cheers, mate. Fabulous to see you again. Thanks. It was wonderful. Lovely evening. It was really fantastic. The concert was
So this is the second time this week you've seen the Shads?
It is indeed.
I'm glad you came along tonight.
Couldn't stay away. Yeah, I had that feeling, because I mean, if this is the last one, I wanted to be here. And yeah, I had to be here.
Would you say that Hank Marvin was the inspiration?
Of course, yeah. I mean, we grew up with those guys, and it will always be the same. You know, it's magic to me. I could play every one of those songs. I wouldn't play them as well as Hank, you know, but I would play them, you know, because that was the Bible when we were growing up as kids.
King Osborne, King Gary, Society of Distinguished Songwriters, but a king is not as high ranked as a shadow. I wanted to try to make it like a voice.
Yes.
And that's how it came
exactly
about.
What it is. And Cavatina sounded fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I still watch Hank's fingers and I think, oh, I don't do it that way. I didn't know he played that up there or down there, you know, little things like that. But it's glorious to watch. You know, the magic thing is it sounds like him, you know, and it's not just Hank, it's Bruce and Brian too, you know. But you know, that particular sound, there are certain notes in the repertoire which when Hank hits them, it's like, whoa, you know, it does something to you in here. Yeah, nobody sounds like that, nobody.
I can hardly believe it's the last time the Shadows will ever play, because if you think of what happened tonight, they are still so brilliant. They are so good at what they do, and the very fact that I'll never get a chance to sing with them again is horrifying. But as Hank said earlier, one of the press guys, never say never. So, you know, it gives me hope that maybe sometime in the future we can have a reason to get together. I sincerely hope we do. They're too good, I think, for us to lose them entirely. It's always been fresh because they know what they're doing, and that's half the secret, and they like what they're doing. So for me, it was a wonderful, wonderful evening, and I'm so glad that if this is the end, I'm so glad I was here to be able to at least get my pink jacket on and join them for the last one. Fantastic. I had a wonderful evening.
It's been a great experience, up and down, you know, lots of different things happening. The things we've done, there've been peaks and troughs. There have been some very difficult times to cope with, lots of laughs, of course. But I suppose that's probably the way it is with most careers and most bands. I think the band is playing really well. Everyone is playing well. We're working the audience as well. And I think it's therefore important that we did this from the audience point of view, to kind of put it to bed. And on a personal level, that we got back together and worked together. So, you know, any things that have been said in the past and things that have been implied can be pushed out of the window, and you know, things are back on an even keel again. And I think that's good from a personal point of view and from the public point of view.
I always miss playing. I don't miss travelling. I won't miss travelling, you know. But I have missed playing the last 10, 15 years where I haven't played, you know. I've been doing a lot of writing, you know, composing for film and television. But as Hank just said, we're playing good, and we are, because there's nothing to prove. We've actually, you know, both the boys have got great techniques. Hank is playing better than he's ever played before. I feel as if I'm playing better than I did when I was 30, you know. Because there's nothing to prove, you know. You just sit and play how you are, you know.
I've had a fantastic time, and you know, when it's over, you know, I'll miss it. I will miss it.
It doesn't matter how many times we have played a tune on this tour, obviously at least, you know, 37 times with Patchy. You go back over the years thousands of times. For a lot of people in the audience, they see it once. I know there are some who come to a lot of shows, but most come to one show, and they may see you, if you're regularly on tour, once every 2 years. That's all. To them, it's a great experience. And so I learned to put myself into the position of someone in the audience, and how excited I would be if I see my favourite artist. Oh, I hope they do this, hope they do that. And when the artist does it, I hope they do it with enthusiasm and with real conviction and passion. And that's what I think we try to do. I've been trying to do this for years. Every time I play Apache or whatever, I play it as if this is my latest hit or our latest hit. Doesn't matter what it is. I want to put everything into it.
It is your
so that the audience... Well, but you know, so the audience really believes, and you've got to make the audience believe that you believe in what you play. And I think we're doing that in this tour.
You can't fake it, really.